What can kill you easily that people often underestimate? Staircases. Friend of mine slipped, broke his neck, and died. He was 21. As a kid I remember trying rollerblade down the stairs. One moment I'm on top of the stairs and the next, I'm waking up at the bottom of the stairs with no memory of having fallen. Only some bruises, and I didn't tell my parents in fear of the slipper. Someone else in the vehicle not having their seatbelt on. If your 150 pounds passenger isn't wearing a seatbelt, they turn into an unrestrained 150 pound sack of meat and bone during a collision rollover. That can definitely frick you up if they smack into you. Water, lakes, pools, etc. People forgot how easily their children or themselves can get into trouble while around water, and how difficult it can be to notice. A brief moment of distraction while driving. Just driving in general, you're moving at high speed in metal box relying on paint and lights to guide you while also hoping literally every other driver does the same and doesn't make a mistake. Ladders. OSHA posts workplace fatality stats online. Literally every other entry is someone falling to their death from the top of a ladder. The ocean. I live in Australia and people from overseas just don't understand how dangerous the ocean can be. Tip for visitors: if you come to Australia, make sure you swim between the flags. That way the lifesavers can keep an eye on you and stop you from getting into trouble. Other drivers, especially drunk ones. The amount of children who are now orphans because someone decided to drink and drive is very depressing. I was taught to drive as if everyone else was trying to kill me. Blood clots can form in your legs due to inactivity and then travel to your lungs, which is fatal. Edit. Lots of people are correctly pointing out that they can be fatal, but are not necessarily. Thank you for the correction. That being said, PAYs have a relatively high mortality rate of 30% when untreated. Cars. I babysit nanny for 2 different families, and all the kids have said their parents let them not wear their seatbelts. And I'm like, WTF, you could die. You will wear your seatbelt in my car and I won't move until you do. And you have to make sure that everyone is buckled up. In a really bad crash, an unbelted person can literally ricochet around the car, smashing into people with lethal force. Alcohol withdrawals. They are some of the worst withdrawals you can put your body through, and in some cases it's worse than H withdrawals. A lot of drugs you can just cold turkey off of, but I'd recommend weaning off of alcohol slowly just so you don't shock your body so hard. Edit. This more applies to hardcore alcoholics and not so much your occasional drinkers. I never knew this until about 6 months ago. My dad is an alcoholic. Mum calls me up saying he is firing his gun in the garage. I race over and convince him after 2 hours to get in the car, take him to the hospital, and upon release the doctor says if and when he decides to turn his life around, do not stop drinking cold turkey. It would kill him. Automatic garage door opener springs. Do not try and replace them on your own. They are deadly. Can vouch for this. Not the deadly aspect, but the more dangerous than you realize, especially while standing on a ladder aspect. Lesson learned. Being knocked unconscious for too long is super bad for you. It's a lot shorter period than you think. Some historians theorize that this is what caused King Henry VIII to become so unstable. His horse literally flipped on top of him and he stopped breathing for a bit, was unconscious for a few days afterwards. He was very intelligent and a great leader before it, and ended up becoming super paranoid and violent afterward. Stairs, especially for the 60+ people, but anyone at any age can fall down stairs. Then they're in debt because of the medical bill and sometimes paralyzed, or your neck gets crunched and you die. I kind of half-assed making sure both ways were clear before I crossed the road the other day. Then I suddenly realized that, even though I do it every day so it's monotonous and seems like no big deal, not looking both ways is the difference between getting across the road safely and getting hit and killed by a car on the way back from buying a can of Pringles. Edit. A can of Pringles, not a packet. Easter flowers. They've been known to kill dogs and small children. Highly toxic. I had a dog that ate one and I had no idea they were poisonous. Few minutes down the road and he started projectile crapping and puking in a circle. I thought he was going to die. It only takes a few for a human to ingest and it'll kill you. Those stupid yellow flowers people plant everywhere. Tulips. Narcissus. and I assume daffodils. Or maybe that's the same thing. And calla lilies will kill your animals and also you. I think irises are also on the no list. Glad your dog was okay. Deer, stupid paranoid murder machines with knives on their heads. Most animals will kill you for a reason or to eat you, but not deer. Freaking deer. Not only are they psychotic during mating season, but if you hit a buck in your car, the antlers can impale you if they come through the windshield. They are a lot bigger up close than most people realize. I've always found them kind of intimidating. Crowds. The closest I ever came to death was being about 10 feet from the stage at Lollapalooza 94 when the Beastie Boys came on. Parliament Funkadelic was on right before them and everyone was just dancing. Nobody was rushing the stage. The Beastie Boys banner dropped and I turned around to several thousand people running at me full speed. I got caught in the pit, and I'm a small person. I was immediately pushed away from my friends. The Beastie Boys were actually yelling at the crowd, telling them that the ladies had as much right to be up front as the guys. Look out for your friends, etc. People were grabbing my hair and my clothes to stay up, because almost everyone around me was a shirtless guy and pretty slippery with sweat. All the air was up around 6 feet off the ground and I'm a whopping 5 feet 3. Some very aware and awesome strangers noticed I was about to pass out and was only upright because I was being held up by the crush of people around me, and they passed me overhead to the security guys on stage. I easily could have died in that crowd. A short fall. A friend fell from about 3 feet and landed on his head. You're still missed, you nickandalk. Carbon monoxide. Get your CO alarms checked installed, guys. Some diseases that are vaccinated for, such as measles and pertussis, whooping cough, are much more dangerous and carry a higher risk of deadly complications in infants and very young children than in older children and adults. This is one reason why the herd immunity afforded by widespread vaccination is so crucial. Infants cannot be vaccinated against such diseases, but their risk of contracting them can be greatly reduced by those around them being inoculated. Selfies in dangerous locations. I keep an eye on the Wikipedia list of death by selfie. In Nabarangpur, Odisha, India, a man tried to take a selfie with a wounded bear and was mauled to death. Good stuff. Bacteria, sepsis, pneumonia, etc. Crosswalks. Even if you have a walk signal, you should still look around. Someone could speed right through the intersection. Nobody cares how right you are if you're dead. I look both ways crossing a one-way road. That's how much I trust humans. A single punch. It takes disturbingly little effort to kill a human. We are incredibly durable in most ways, but a solid punch to the throat or temple could easily kill on accident. Don't forget the chest as you bop someone in the right place at the exact right time. Off goes the heart. The woods. People without much survival knowledge don't seem to realize that nature doesn't give a dang about you. The weather, the wilds, the animals, all will kill you as soon as you frick up. I used to teach a wilderness survival course at a scout camp. Eagle Scout represent, and the knowledge of how lethal mostly everything is in the wilderness is sobering. Drink bad water, get the projectile shoots vomits, die of dehydration, eat bad food, or heck, just food your body isn't used to, get the projectile shoots vomits, die of dehydration, gets wet and stay wet, even in the middle of summer, probably develop hypothermia once the sun sets, get an open wound, cut or scrape, it's gonna get infected. Pee off a wild animal, get attacked, and it doesn't even have to be a big, traditional predator like a wolf or a bear. One kid at the scout camp had to be rushed to the hospital because he and friends cornered a raccoon and was annoying it. Another scout in a different troop got too close to a tom turkey and got mauled, so on and so forth. Yes, I love the woods, and spend quite a bit of time in them, but that means I have a healthy respect for what it can do, and I am prepared. People don't understand dysentery was one of, if not the largest killers to ever exist. Bad water equals diarrhea and vomiting, which is only fixed by drinking clean water which you don't have access to because the water near you have been drinking is dirty, and you're having too much diarrhea and vomiting to move and get to better water. Alcohol. It's easy to abuse, causes liver cancer and dementia among other things, potentially life ruining, and the withdrawal symptoms can kill you. Brain aneurysm. can happen anytime. You can be the healthiest man in the world and take care of your body all the time and still die from one. And alligators. Hippos. They may look like harmless friendly giants, but if you get too close to them they will absolutely frick you up. It's also easy to underestimate how close is too close, since the dang things can run at like 30 kilometers per hour. Giving birth. Just because we've been doing it for millions of years doesn't mean it won't kill ya. Food, plain and simple. Between unknown allergies, choking, foodborne illness, overeating, and a plethora of other possibilities, food is the silent killer no one expected. Cause. Stress, worry, and fear. Which this thread is giving me a lot of. This is dark, but depression. A lot of people think it's not as bad as it is, and it can get pretty bad. Not depressed anymore, but it was pretty bad, and your brain being so chemically ill it will tell you things that you would really wonder how you believed it when you are not struggling anymore. Mosquitoes. They are responsible for transmitting more diseases than anything else on Earth. And a cooked chicken. Swimming in lakes because there's amoeba and bacteria that can kill you if you have any open wounds or if it gets in your mouth and eyes. Brain-eating amoeba on Eagleria fowleri. It's been found in drinking water too. Edit. If you have a nose because I'm dumb and sleep deprived. Statistically, if you find a scorpion in your shower, the shower itself is the greater danger. People slip and die all the time. Not living in an area where they're common, I think the greatest danger to me would be the mother leaving scorpions in my shower. Freaking everything. Yeah, you could catch all the STDs if you did that. Hurrian. I don't know many users anymore because every single person I knew who got into it died in a year or two. Ladders. Emus and cassowaries. You have been visited by the magical sugar jar Puggo. He'll only share his sweetener if you comment Surga please, Mr. Pupper. Thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.